Hey, Lou and Christy families, happy Sunday afternoon. It's fabulous to see you as usual. I am in T-minus time frame right now, which means counting down the minutes, the hours, the seconds until your child is back on campus with us Tuesday for the start of the school year. It is so exciting. It was wonderful to see so many of you on Friday at our Smiles and Files Day. Wonderful to see your children. There was definitely an excitement amongst everyone to kick off this wonderful school year. I'm going to take some time today to talk a little bit about our relaunch plan, a couple of reminders for the upcoming school year. So I first want to start by just thanking you for your understanding and your patience as we worked to finalize our plan for this fall. With the release of the plan on Friday, I want to take a moment to discuss a couple of key foundational pieces of our plan. So the first is health and wellness of your children. We all have an obligation to keep our school community healthy. Last year, we came together and were strong about supporting one another, as well as being very cautious on sending our child to school when they weren't feeling their best. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of this. The best chance we have at keeping face-to-face learning happening, keeping our students healthy, keeping our teachers healthy, is by preventing any sort of illness or sickness from coming into the building as best as we can. So last year, if you remember, we did have a list of ailments that we asked you to check your child for every single morning. I am asking you to do that again this year. A couple things changed from last year. We are currently being recommended that if your child has any one of the symptoms I'm going to share with you right now, it's also in our plan that you keep your child home. So we're going to call this the morning wellness check. It's very simple. It takes a couple seconds, maybe 30 seconds to do. So the first thing is just grab the temperature of your child, see if they have a fever. If they have a fever of 100.4 or higher, that is a symptom of COVID. If they have any of these symptoms, the fever, a persistent cough, chills, a sore throat, runny nose, body aches, a headache, loss of taste or smell, and then any sort of gastrointestinal symptoms. If your child has any one of those, what you are going to do is you are going to stop what you're doing and you are going to be keeping your child home. Now I'm going to share with you the next step. So the next step is to then go to our school website and you are going to report your child as being home for an illness. Now, if you go to our website under current families on Tuesday, there will be a link right here to a Google form that you will click. And I'm going to show you what that looks like real quickly here. And you will just fill out that form. Oh, where am I? That's my Google. Oh boy, can't get this down. There we go. So you're gonna go here. This is our potential COVID. So you'll click on that link. It'll take you to this Google form. You simply enter your name, your email address, your child's first and last name, and then you're gonna run through like, what's the situation, okay? So you will click what your situation is. They're having COVID-like symptoms, whatever it may be. Click the different symptoms they have. So just let us know which symptoms they have, and it will walk you through. It might ask if you've been a close contact, if your child had a COVID test, and so on and so forth. That form then goes to Liz Daly, and she is going to be monitoring all of our COVID data this year. And then she'll be in contact with you as to what the next steps are that you should be taking. Just like last year, we are assuming that if your child has one of these symptoms, that they have COVID. The piece is if you would send your child to school with a symptom, any of those symptoms, our teachers are going to send them back to the office. So if your child does have the chills or body aches, they come to school and they say, oh, my throat is sore. we're going to be sending them to the office and giving you a phone call, and you are going to need to come and pick your child up within 30 minutes. Now, when you're home, you will be advised to call your pediatrician. Your pediatrician may say, go get a COVID test. That test comes back negative, your child can come back to school. So again, we're assuming they have COVID just like last year until we know otherwise. We did have a number of students last year who have asthma or seasonal allergies, chronic headaches. If your child suffers from one of those ailments, it's tough because COVID symptoms obviously are the symptoms of many other just childhood ailments. You may obtain a doctor's note, so from your child's doctor, that would indicate that your child has seasonal allergies. And if we see, and they would need to list out any of these symptoms, they would list that out on their piece of paper, that we are to assume that child has allergies. So there were a handful of parents last year that had their child's doctor fill out a letter and send it in to us. We need a new letter every year. So assume if your child had a seasonal allergy letter last year, we need a new letter for this year as well. So you might want to be proactive on that and get that sent in before you get a phone call from us and you're like, it's just allergies. We can't assume it's allergies until we hear from a medical professional on that piece. I want to just kind of address one other issue about this COVID situation and masking and so forth. Since Friday morning, a couple of families have already been asking teachers about their vaccination status. Some have been asked why they're wearing a mask. So some of our faculty and staff are wearing masks, and families have asked why that person is wearing a mask. So just because a staff member is wearing a mask does not mean that he or she is not vaccinated. Or if you see someone wearing a mask, it doesn't mean they've been exposed to COVID. Our faculty may be wearing a mask for a multitude of reasons. Please be mindful that these types of questions, vaccination status, health choices, are confidential and they fall under HIPAA. And they may not be disclosed by our staff members to you. So we ask that you trust us as a school, that we take your child's health and wellness extremely seriously. I've said this multiple times in bazillions of chats last year and prior years. We see your child as one of our own children. We care about them just like we would our own children. And we're not reckless around them. We're not going to make unwise health decisions that would put your child in jeopardy of remaining healthy. So no one is going to make a conscious effort to put your child in harm's way. I ask that you please trust our teachers. You trust them in their care with your child's education. We ask you to also trust us with this. So I know there's a handful of you who are feeling stressed and worried and simply just feel like you don't know what to do right now. And reflecting on last year, I've been doing a lot of this lately. A year ago, we had a larger group of parents who were very nervous and feeling like our choices that we were making at a school level were really irresponsible about coming back to school face to face. We were being urged by many to make virtual school something that just what everybody does for the first couple of weeks of school. So many families wanted us to start virtually and then ease into the school year. And we chose to start face to face. And we had mitigation strategies in place. And even with those mitigation strategies, we had families that were thinking, we can't be face-to-face, we have to be virtual. And we felt confident in our strategies last year. So although our strategies look different this year also looks different. We've learned a lot, and we ask that you trust us. We will get through this. We got through last year, and we will get through this again this year. The only way to get through this, though, is together, and we must remain together as a community, supporting one another. It's okay to have difference of belief systems. That's what makes our world great, is that we don't all agree on everything, but we have to be respectful about the times that we do not agree on things. So I ask that you stay positive, please assume good intentions of everybody in our school community, including your leadership of the school, our teachers, our school commission, other families, and our students. So assume that we all have good intentions in mind. And when someone's struggling, I ask that you lend a helping hand, or it might just be a listening ear. If someone's struggling with something, please just listen and listen to them. If they need help with something, please help them. Because through that, I know that we will get through this together and we will have a successful year. I look forward to seeing all of you bright and early on Tuesday as we kick off our school year.